So I'm here at SIGGRAPH with the so-called $100 laptop, what we actually call the XO laptop. This is a product of One Laptop per Child, which is a non-profit organization intending to give laptops to majority world, third world countries. So the way this actually works is that we work with a number of corporate partners who manufacture various parts of software, hardware, lend their expertise to the betterment of humankind. So this is sort of the XO in its open mode. You can see it has these little Wi-Fi antennas that allow it to access the Wi-Fi. It supports mesh networking, so that one laptop has an internet connection. You can actually share that connection down the line. So if you imagine that a city has a very good internet connection, it might be able to trickle down to villages if we span across laptops on the way. So the laptop can also rotate and enter this sort of portrait mode. So here I am looking at the SIGGRAPH homepage. I would be able to read this. You can use these to navigate along the homepage or interact, make annotations, things like that, depending on the kind of software I'm using. The laptop is fairly durable. I mean, I'm not going to do any serious drop tests, but it's not as fragile as one might imagine. And in fact, it survives some pretty decent drop tests. It's water resistant. We have things like the rubberized antennas which actually protect the ports when they're not in use. It has a variety of ports, like here we have 2 USB ports. On the other side we have another USB port and a sort of standard headphone microphone ports. So you notice there's not a crank here. We've actually removed the crank, and we now focus on having sort of a modular power input, so this could be plugged into good old US electricity, as it is here at SIGGRAPH, or we could plug in something more like a foot pedal, solar cells, any kind of power technology, depending on what's appropriate for the kind of community, the kind of place it's going. You can see that a lot of things on the laptop look like a child's laptop. So the keyboard is very small. It's also sort of water resistant here. And there are a lot of intentional design decisions to keep this out of the hand of adults. Right? It has these cute little antenna. It has this very child-sized keyboard and trackpad. And, it has this great green and white color. So that, we don't want these to be stolen, sold in the black market. And so even though this is a real laptop in every sense of the word, we want to sort of think of it as a child's tool. So the way this works is that we sell these in orders of 1 million minimum to countries who use these as part of their educational program. So we sort of think of this as an education program, not a laptop program, is the famous quote. Show you a little bit of the interface. Can you get the interface? So right now I'm in the browse activity, so this is sort of a standard web browser derived from Mozilla's code base. This is what we call the frame, which is sort of our point of interaction. I could get there by pushing this button or sort of just by going to any corner using Fitts' law to our favor there. So these are the applications that we have on the laptop right now. We have things like panes, calculator, sort of a basic word processor built off of AviWord. We have a shareable chat space that can be shared along the mesh network. A variety of educational programs like eToys or TamTam down here, which is sort of a GarageBand-like mixing program. We can also play basic media. The laptop has a built-in camera, which I'll demonstrate, maybe. We'll get a shot of the camera, watching the camera here. You can see here, this is the button that allows us to rotate the screen orientation. Okay, so this is sort of the camera activity. So this will allow children in majority world countries to take pictures of their environment, and we expect a lot of sharing to occur, a lot of writing and publishing, so people will be able to take pictures in their environment, post these to the internet, blog about what's going on in their communities. So I can also take different views of the sort of network. So here's me in the center. This is what I look like. I have a unique color, and also, each laptop on the back has its own unique color-coded XO character, as you saw. These represent sort of Wi-Fi access points. These are other people on this access point that I'm currently on, and this is the mesh network that all the laptops are creating together. So you could connect directly to the mesh network. And in fact, it sort of works with other laptops too. Sometimes you'll see them pop on depending on what their status is. For example, in the chat, we can chat, with Bonjour, right, across with Mac computers. Then I can also see here if I have any friends. Both of my friends are offline, so they're not illuminated right now, mostly because the laptops need to be turned on over there. And then this is my sort of general view again. These are all the applications I have open. This is the browser, this is the camera, this is my signal strength sort of a view of status. We have this journal activity here because the laptop doesn't really have a file system that's exposed in quite the same way you would expect from other applications. We can actually Oh, this one does not work. So edit this part out. But this is pretty much it. This is the $100 laptop.
Is it $100?
Well, these manufactured for about $140.
Can you show the screen? The black and white reflective.
Oh yeah, let me show you the black and white reflective screen. So the laptop also has some unique display technology. So we can switch between this sort of color mode and this sort of more monochromatic display. So you see there, we're now in the monochromatic display. And if you actually watch as I toggle back and forth between them, that everything gets a little sharper when we switch to the monochromatic display. And the reason is because it's actually slightly upping the resolution. This supports sort of better text reading, crisper, cleaner view. And of course the intent of this is that, you know, I might switch to this view and then go ahead, switch my laptop around and take it out to read outside. Right, let me flip the screen around here. So we can imagine that I'm using these controls to sort of read a textbook or a story outside the sun.
Where did the spindle go?
So we've actually removed the crank from being physically attached because it has a lot of moving parts, and in fact, if you think about it, the crank is probably not the best solution because it prevents you sort of from using the laptop. So we're prototyping a number of power solutions that can just plug in.
Oh, separate?
Yeah, and one of them is a foot pedal, which is sort of more like the foot pedal you might find on a sewing machine.